Hey everybody! In today's video, I wanted to talk about clones. Or I should say you guys wanted me to talk about clones, because that's what one of you said on my video asking for what you wanted to hear. So, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on clones today. I'm going to start off this video by saying I do not own any clones. And that'll immediately tell you the direction that I'm going to be headed. So, what are clones? Well, clones they're like your knockoffs. They're your non-name brand stuff. They're basically the same thing, but they're just not made by that massive company and don't have the name attached. Which of course allows them to be cheaper and produced at a sometimes lower quality. So a clone is basically a lookalike, a replica. And what else is a clone? Intellectual property theft. Yeah, not a great look. But it's basically you steal someone else's idea and you produce it and then you sell it. Now typically these clone companies, they all try to make the designs but in a cheaper way, because the biggest market for clones is people that cannot afford really expensive balisongs. So, they buy clones which are cheaper. And I don't like clones because they're property theft of someone else's design. But because they're cheaper, they run into the problem that they're never going to be as good is the actual thing. But a lot of people don't really care. You can get one, they feel like they get something that's good enough, even though it's not really as good as what they could be getting. But I think the big reason that the clone market is as strong as it is in the balisong hobby is that the balisong hobby has a weird thing with collecting and grails, and so you need to have a collection with these expensive balisongs. Cheap ones are bad. You need to have expensive stuff. And it's just not true. I mean, a lot of hobbies have really expensive stuff. I think of cars. Cars are a great example, I feel like, because most people have a dream car, a car that they really want to have, but unfortunately it's just too expensive. Well, the balisong hobby is like that with grails. A lot of people have a balisong that they really want to own, but it's too expensive. But when it comes to cars, if it's too expensive, people just won't buy it because they can't afford it. But with balisongs, instead of just not buying it, some people will turn to clones to buy a cheap knockoff. And I just don't think it makes sense, because you're going to be getting a worse experience. You're not paying the original creator, therefore, in a way, helping put them out of business. And you still don't truly have that thing you wanted. You just have a knockoff of it. Because what people in the hobby need to realize is that there's nothing wrong with not having something you want. Or in that there's nothing wrong with flipping with a cheaper balisong. Which, of course, cheaper balisong. Nowadays, you can get really good balisongs for under $100, even around $50. I mean, the Nimbus Lightning is $35, which is incredible. So there's really no reason to feel like you need to have a $300+ balisong just to have something cool in your collection. It's perfectly okay to have grails that you want but that you can't afford. It's just like your dream car. Maybe one day you will have enough to afford the real thing. And trust me when I say that the wait will be well worth it, because the quality is going to be exponentially better than what you get if you skimp out and buy a cheap clone. So So that's pretty much my thoughts on clones. Not really a big supporter. Think that you should save. I think you're better off saving your money, honestly, and just getting the real thing someday. I know a lot of Balisongs are really expensive, but you're gonna get a better product if you just wait than if you hastily just buy a clone. So that's about my thoughts on that. As always, if you have any video suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Hope you've all had a wonderful day, and I hope that you all keep flipping.